Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. So my name is Heatherina, and I talk about living with two kids that either killed or could potentially kill, that we lived with for about 11 years. Long time. But so a lot of what I say in here is please be nice in the comments below. Be nice to everybody in real life. You never know what anybody is going through, and this is my story, my side of things. So I lived a lot of years very quiet. Didn't really talk about what was going on with me, because when I tried in the beginning, nobody really listened to me, nobody really cared. So I just kept journals and documentation and videos and pictures and everything, because I knew that someday I would probably need it for the majority. That's not the word I wanted to use, but it's the word I'm using. So today things are going to be a little different. So my oldest twin went down the rabbit hole last night. I think in her suggested friends or came up on her page. I don't really know, but she had ran across her stepbrother, which she does not like me to call him, but her stepbrother's social media. And he had did a video in November 2020 of his life story. Granted, it was only 10 minutes long, but it was very interesting, to say the least, and I am going to play it for you guys today. So, because everybody keeps asking me how he is doing, where he is at, if he's gotten better. Yeah, so you kind of got to see this video to kind of understand some things. I want you guys to see it because I have some things that I am going to talk about after you guys watch this video. You guys will then understand. So I will see you back in a moment.
I'm almost 18. So, I'm going to be talking today about my life story and the dark turns I've taken and how I've gotten through them. So, at a very young age, I had a father that didn't care about his kids or his wife. My mom, that's what I'm talking about. He always ditched us, left us in the dust. He kicked us out of our house. Later on, I moved up to Billings, Montana for a while. I went to elementary there. I was there from kindergarten to second grade, and my time there, I've seen a lot of stuff go down. I had to witness my mom get beat by her boyfriends. Also, then my second grade year, the end of it, I had to move in with my dad. And this is where this takes the dark turn. I moved in with them on July 12th of 2011. I was not aware that down the road this stuff would happen to me. I always thought I could trust my stepmom and my dad, and apparently I could not. For whatever reason, they cut me down. I was abused on a daily basis. I was stabbed a couple times. I walked the journey of the path way too dark. It is so dark. I went on to, I was in homeschool for my 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade year. I had no friends, nobody to talk to. It was totally antisocial. I was in 4 treatment facilities, a crisis center, and a group home. And I was so starved that I had to eat out of the trash. I had to steal food from the pantry and the fridge all the time. I was put into St. Joseph's Children's Home, and that's where I was told that I should be in public school and that they demanded I be put in public school, which I went into Riverton Middle School as my 8th grade year. That same year I went back to another facility. I went to Provo Canyon. I came back and I finished my 8th grade year out at Pavilion. Then my freshman year came around. I was in Riverton High School. I started my freshman year. I walked a really dark path. I was still with my stepmom and my dad. My stepmom were split. We lived in different homes, and then I went throughout my whole high school year, except for in March I had taken some money from my stepmom's wallet. I had some
So welcome back after that that video. So I have so much to say about this in so many ways. So to say, last night I had very bad PTSD. Bad, guys. My whole body was shaking. Was very sick last night after my daughter discovered this video. So where do I even start? Well, so in this video I'll give you a short rundown because I didn't show all of it because, you know, it's just he said his name a lot, or there's just bits that just didn't matter. So his life story is whack. You can tell that his mama has some deep-seated mental issues if she truly believes that that is what happened in their life. So let me explain something. He had this little rendition of how his bio dad was always running out on his mom, and leaving them all the time. Okay, he went to work. Guys, he didn't just up and leave and be nowhere. Like, he went to work. So after him and her split up, and I know this for a fact so I can speak on it. After they split up, he was paying for her rent, her bills, her groceries, and her child support. He was also, like if she was like, oh, the kids need beds, oh, I need this, he was still providing those things for her. Now, when she lived with me, I took her several times to Walmart so he could buy her, you know, beds, so he could buy her stuff for the beds. I had, when me and him had ended up roommating together, I had told him, you know, you can barely afford to live, so that is what child support is for her to use that for her bills and things. It's not your job to take care of her anymore. So he took care of her and those kids even after they were split up. So this whole my mom told me my dad was in and out of my life and he ran out on us is utterly bullshit, and it sounds like a bio mom trying to cover up her own bullshit. You know, we've all seen that, right? She is the epitome of bullshit. In this video, and I'm still kind of in shock just how damaged, to say the least, damaged this child is. He states he was stabbed several times, and he was hit over the head many times with a steel pipe. Guys, a steel pipe. And stabbed. And he has scars all over his arms from being stabbed so many times. So, he talks about how he went to homeschool. Oh, I don't like that brush. how he went to homeschool and he was so antisocial. Okay, guys. So, a little know-how on me. We live in a neighborhood with a lot of kids. We have a tree house. We have a zip line. We have my kids call them jumpolines, but we have a trampolines. We had pools. A kid's dream, okay? So all of the neighborhood kids always ended up in our yard. And it's always been that way, and I literally don't care. Like, if all the neighborhood kids played outside. Oh, they also have a little cabin that looks just like our house that has like cooking stuff or whatever in. So all the neighborhood kids would always want to be in my yard, still to this day. Even though my kids are, 2 of them are teenagers. My youngest still has neighborhood kids over. He had friends. He had Steven and a little boy named Tristan that lived next door. So, yep, he had friends. His antisocial behavior came from the fact that he has reactive attachment disorder and is antisocial. It has nothing to do with going to school. So, you know, people think you can't get socialized by going to homeschool. Okay, well, we had my stepson in baseball, excuse me, and soccer, and Lego club, and Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts, he robbed all the kids. They didn't want him in it no more. Baseball, he refused to participate. First day there, refused to participate. The coach is screaming, "Where is the parent of this child? Come and get him. He does not want to participate." Soccer, he hid in the bathroom. They didn't kick him off the team. We finished off the year because I believe that when you start something, you finish it. But every chance he got, you guys, he would sneak off and hide in the shitter. So he had so many opportunities to make friends, to be around people. All of the kids did. You cannot force somebody to make friends with somebody. So he is delusional in any sense if he thinks that because he was I was homeschooled, therefore I had no social life because of them. The whole video was a complete blame game of bullshit. And it screams biomom. It screams, you know, I was this perfect little housewife and I wanted to do all this great stuff for my kids, but these evil people come in and just snatched you out of my life and I couldn't be the best mom that I could be to you. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, the audacity that these people have is fucking hilarious. Excuse my French, but it is hilarious. I mean, let's be real now. You cannot, I mean, he says in this video that he's doing a video so, you know, he can get his story out. Okay. Is it a make-believe story? Or is it the story? He talked about how he, oh my god, this part was the funniest part. Okay, so, and those of you who are mommies out there understand. We need peace and quiet sometimes. To lay in the tub and shave our legs, you know, just to get the hell away from our kids for a moment. I homeschooled, therefore I was with my kids 24/7, 0 breaks. During the summertime, during the fall, during the spring, during the winter, I would make it mandatory that my kids go outside and play for an hour. Horrible me. So he says in this part of this video that he was forced to go outside and he was cold and they would lock the doors and no, little man. That is not what happened. First off, my kids always had the best snow gear ever. We live in Wyoming, so they always had the best snow gear. That's wool socks, that's long underwear, that's snowsuits, hats, gloves, whatever it may be, they had it. Going outside and playing in the snow for an hour, you seen as something bad? All the other kids in the neighborhood, all the other kids in the house are outside making snow forts and outside sledding. I bought them all sleds, cool sleds. I would literally take out my four-wheeler or my side-by-side and I would pull them on the sleds and stuff. And he's talking about it as a punishment, guys. A punishment. I was mortified, but the biggest issue, like, oh, my daughter, Nevaeh, is the most beautiful person ever, guys. She is a great person. Hold on. I got stuff everywhere. She was so enraged, guys. So she finds this stuff. Mom is busy doing stuff. So she waits all day long. And as she waits to tell me about this, she just goes further and further and further down the rabbit hole. And she is so enraged on the lies and the bullshit that she decides to write on one of his posts telling him that he is a liar and how dare him, like, cut her mom down or insinuate that we stabbed him and hit him over the head with a pipe. Sorry, I keep wanting to say brick. I don't know why, but it was a pipe. We hit him and his sister all the time. Okay, so a lot of times when you watch true crime and you watch, you know, any true life story or whatever, and the kids are homeschooled, they're talking about homeschool like where you go to the library and you get books on your own and you teach your kids. We're talking about that kind of homeschool, okay? We didn't do that kind of homeschool. So, my kids would, I guess I'm going to use this kind today. But my kids would meet with teachers. My stepkids had a 504 for behaviors. One of them had he had an IEP, which meant that he seen a counselor, a school counselor, who wrote an actual, and I have that somewhere too, he wrote the courts on behalf of the school talking about this kid needs to be placed. You know, he talks to me about some horrific things. He had counselors that he talked to in school. He had a principal, he had teachers, there was other students. There wasn't, my kids aren't being taken away from the world where they're not socializing and, or don't, you know, if something bad was happening, they didn't have a way to speak out to somebody. Anybody. There was so many people, like the school system is online. The teachers are on camera. Some choose to get on camera, some choose not to. It's whatever. But nonetheless, they go to class and they're able to speak with their teachers. They're able to email them because the school system they are on their computer, has their own email system that's private. What the frick are you talking about? You were so abused and you didn't have any way to talk to any, are you kidding me? Like, this video screams mental illness. So when everybody is wondering how this kid is doing, he talks in the video how he lost his job. So everybody's safe. He's no longer working at Walmart. You're safe to shop. But he can't keep a job because he doesn't like authority figures. I was asked a lot of times here on the video, on my videos, do I ever run into him? Yes, I have ran into him at Walmart, so have my kids. And he makes a complete fool of himself. He acts like this beaten child and runs like, I mean, he runs like that away. You can tell he has deep-seated issues. And it's sad because Biomom is so busy covering up her bullshit that she needs to be getting help for, instead of getting this kid freaking help and yourself. Like, oh my God, he talks about how his mom went through getting beat up by her boyfriends. That was a big thing that he said I had to go through. Guys, there was only like 2 boyfriends. There was 2 boyfriends that I know of. And believe me, I hear everything from her family, or did, that she got beat up by. The first one, she swung and hit him in the face, and he shoved her backwards to protect himself. The other person, he lived in about 2 hours from us. And she met him on social media, where she meets all of her dudes. You know, because she's a Tinder queen. He come traveling down here to have relations with her. While he was sleeping, she got into his wallet and stole all of his money. And so in the morning, he goes to leave to go back home, and he goes to get gas, and he realizes that she has robbed him. I believe that she took his credit card too. I can't remember because it's been a while since her sister has told me the story. But I know that she robbed all of the money out of his wallet. So I guess he came back into town, or came back to her house, excuse me. And he asked for his money back. She played the stupid card that she didn't have the money, and I guess he beat the crap out of her and put her through the wall. No, that is not right, but neither side is right. You don't rob somebody and you don't put your hand on a woman. So he should have called the cops. Not that the cops really do anything in this town. But the kids were only around for one of them, not the other one. So them being like, we went through my mom getting beat up by all these different boyfriends. Well, why did your mom keep putting you in risk when you weren't around? You weren't even there. You know, she's telling you her story of what she went through, but the kids weren't there. They were with us. So it's like, what bullshit is she feeding these kids to cover up her own life? I wasn't around because they wouldn't let me. Oh God, poor freaking bio mom and her bullshit. Like, it is on a constant basis. And the fact that my daughter was so triggered by the bullshit shows me that there is so much more healing that we need to go through if we are ever going to, like, I just told her, like, block him. Don't correspond with him. Don't have your friends, don't have anybody correspond with him. Let them live in their Bates Motel dream. You know, after somebody told me that whole Bates Motel thing and I started watching Bates Motel, you guys were spot on. That's some shit. I mean, I'm not all the way through it by far, but the stuff I have seen so far, ooh, that's my stepson and my stepdaughter and their mama. That is, like, at 17 years old, you don't go to the store and hold your mama's hand. That's not stuff you usually see. Most 17-year-old boys would not do that. But I decided to take the time today, instead of finishing where we left off. I figured that I needed to, just because of me and my daughter having such a PTSD response to that, the lies and the bullshit. Like, if you're gonna tell your story, tell your story, but you also need to tell the positions that you took as well. I was never an angel in anything. You know, I should have been calling the cops from the very beginning, but I didn't want them in the system. You know, in the beginning, I didn't want anything to happen to them. I love them. I truly love them and wanted nothing but the best for them. But the fact that they will go on and tell their story, wow, guys. The audacity of some people. You know, somebody had said, on one of my videos that someday they're going to come back and they're going to thank me. No, they're not. They still are carrying that little piece of white chalk that you used when you were in grade school. They still carry that little piece of white chalk around to outline their own body because they are the biggest victims I've ever seen. Him saying, you know, I never did anything wrong, but one time I stole money out of my stepmom's purse so that I could pay off my fees at school. The fees are still sitting there at school. You used it to put the money in the vending machine. The principal found the money in your pocket. And which time you said, when he asked, quote unquote, where is the rest of the money, you stated, I put it in the vending machine. So is the principal lying or are you lying? Is the question. I am in awe. I am in awe. Just the audacity to blame everybody for your problems. I'm not sure if he's ran across my videos yet, but this is just in case he does. Okay? The audacity of you, your sister, and your mom. The audacity. The only acceptable words I will ever accept out of your mouth is thank you and I'm sorry. Everything else the three of you say is like saying wah 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 wah. It's nothing but utter freaking bullcrap. You three, especially you two, will never ever, 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 ever have a relationship with any of the children in this house because you are mentally sick to the point you won't even go and seek help. You cannot be around normal brain children with the audacity that you think that the world is wronging you and you have did no part in the things that you have did. You tortured my animals, you tortured my family, and you tortured me, and I stayed. I stayed for a lot of years. I was worried that your piece of crap biological mom was going to destroy you worse, and now I literally do not care what happens because you three are two peas in a pod, but you are three. You were born out of a lie and you live a lie, and it's sad and it breaks my heart that you learn nothing from me. You learn nothing from my children. You learn nothing from life but to scam, manipulate, lie, storytell, and just be horrible humans. You're an almost adult. You are literally a month away from being an adult and you have learned nothing. No skills, nothing. You live in a shed at your mama's house that shows in all of your little videos, but you legitimately turned us in for you supposedly living in a shed at my house when it wasn't even true. But in your videos, it shows you living in a freaking plywood shed. And you're happy as can be. You guys are the most hypocritical, disgusting people I have ever met. Like, we all on my channel, on TikTok, everywhere, we're praying that you guys got help. We're praying that you guys have a good life. Nobody was wishing any of you guys any hell. But you guys wish nothing but hell on somebody who literally stayed. You killed my animals. You poisoned us. You robbed us, you destroyed things, you stole, and all you have to say on your little story is how we beat you and your sister excessively in the head with a pipe. Love to see the scars, love to see the pictures, would love to know the dates on that, so please get me that memo because that's complete bullcrap. And then we stabbed you several times. Stabbed you. And that is why you have the scars on your arm. Or is it because you have a picking issue and you pick the crap out of yourself and always have? It's documented. Boy, it's documented. Nobody stabbed you. If anybody stabbed you, we would be in prison. Do you not understand the severity of the bullshit you are saying? You have PTSD. We have PTSD. If you have PTSD, you caused it to yourself. Because nobody in this house caused you that. The world that you live in is make-believe. Just like you thought the Ninja Turtles at 14 lived under the city. Your reality is warped. You need help, and I pray that you get help. As for everybody else, last night was a very hard night for me and my family. The audacity, the answer is no. Do I think he got better? No. Do I think he will get better? No. I pray for any woman or man that dates him that somebody warns them very early on. So far, per his social media, he states that nobody likes him and he doesn't understand why this person that he likes doesn't like him. I say the proof is in the pudding. I say that you can tell evil when you see evil. Maybe she can see, maybe he, I don't know which way you swing, but maybe they can see the evil within you. I don't feel up to a video like I normally do. I am officially having a rough day today, guys. You know, not you, people in general, always have high hopes that we see cases like this and that they get better. I had high hopes that this was something that he would grow out of, that she would grow out of. Everybody asks why I don't talk about her as much as I do him. I wanted to explain that in this video. She was the more in-your-face, violent one. He was the more conniving behind your back, violent one. So with her, I had more time. When her mom lived with me, she would always put her in my bed because she couldn't handle her. So she would bring her upstairs when I was sleeping and she would put her in my bed. And I would wake up the next day to this little blonde hair, blue eye beauty in my bed. And I kind of always just had a decent bond with her. I could see changes in her more than I ever seen in him. There was never any changes in him. Never. Never. He was always the way that he was from the beginning to the end, and anything that we seen otherwise was a complete show. With him, when he would go away to facilities and stuff, we would see her starting to change, starting to deal with things more. You know, by the end, she was starting to recognize her problems more. I miss her pretty bad, you know, mostly because I've always been a girl mom, and I know girls. I have all girls, and I could relate to some of the things that she had went through, like being raped. You know, some of the things that she had went through I could relate to. And we would have moments of up and down. I was going to do it this video, but I will do it next video, but we will start talking about her more and a lot of the things that I went through with her. You know, somebody mentioned that they spewed a lot of hate and discontent because they were looking for their mother's love. I believe that fully. But that, I hope they always know that isn't something that I could have ever made better. Bio mom should have lost her rights from day one. That is the fact of the matter. To say, I'm one of those people that don't hate people. I feel hate is a very strong word, and that it's just a very strong word, and I have raised my kids, you know, that we don't hate anybody. But between me and you, I hate her. I hate her with every sense because she ruined 2 kids before they ever had a chance to be the people that they should have been. My stepson, he's very smart. And I feel like he could have been so many things. An architect. I always thought that he would probably end up being like an architect or something. Instead, he's so obsessed with just sitting on his butt and playing video games, I see from all of his things that he posts. I always had high hopes that I could give them enough love and it would take away all their pain. But the fact of the matter is, they needed that kind of commitment from their own mother. And the fact that she is so fake to the world is interesting. You know, I can, as a mother, I can tell you all of my faults. Because, you know, that's just, I can. And I'm not ashamed of any of the things that I have went through in my life. You know, I have talked with my kids about my past and things that I have went through. I was quite the fighter, guys. Quite the fighter. I think I had like a page and a half, front and back, of fighting tickets alone. I literally went to jail twice for fighting. I was scrappy for sure. I like to fight. I was in judo for a very long time. Carry a lot of belts. And very much grew up with anger issues when I was younger. And they kept making me go to anger management. And I kept failing anger management. Who fails anger management? Like, I failed it 8 times, guys. And finally one day, it all just clicked. Everything clicked. And we're talking many years ago. We're talking in my 20s, guys. Long time ago. But everything clicked. And I learned that everything doesn't have to be a reaction. I had unresolved issues with bullying and stuff that I felt like I had to learn to fight and be the strongest. And, you know, and I always tell my kids, I teach them to be strong and to defend themselves, but I also teach them when and how. And people laugh because, you know, they're just like, she's gonna have anger issues. Like my youngest, she is funny. We do not see anything from her. She's funny when she gets a little mean mug. She does have sass. I ain't gonna lie. She's sassy. But my point of it is, anybody and everybody can change and go on a better path. And they're not choosing that. Maybe later in life, but right now, nothing's changed. So I want to end today's video with, I will get back on track tomorrow, but today I just need a me day to get back to me. So you guys have a beautiful day. Put more good into the world than what you take out. And remember that we don't know what somebody is going through, so always choose to be nice. Have a great day, guys. Bye.